Why am I dressed like this? Well, after my last video on do not overpay for Buffalo Trace or anything else, 100 proof edition, I'm ready for a fight. That one stirred up a lot of attention, got a lot of folks talking, got a lot of opinions about stuff like this. So I thought, let's fight. Let's do it again. Do not overpay for anything from Buffalo Trace or anybody else. High proof edition coming up next. Hello and welcome back to Drams for Dummies. I am the numero uno dummy, Brett. And after my last video, do not overpay for Buffalo Trace or anything else, 100 proof edition, I had a lot of people that agreed with that. So first of all, if you haven't seen that video, go back and check it out. We're trying to get to 1,000 views, which would be awesome. Second of all, if you're watching right now and you're liking, just out of charity, just hit the like button, and out of even more charity, just hit the subscribe button so you can see more of this action. Because if I can get to 100 subscribers very, very quickly, like today or tomorrow, we'll keep this thing rolling. We'll get a live going. We'll get this whole community rocking and rolling, because there's a place for us dummies to talk, right? So that's what we're here for, but we got to get the momentum going. That last video did it, which made me want to do the second video with the high proofers. What's the point of the outfit? Honestly, it's Sunday, and I don't want to go anywhere. And after the hot tub today, I got into the robe, and then I just stayed in the robe. And then I thought I should change to do this video, and I thought, I don't want to change. I like this robe. I'm comfortable in the robe. So the robe stays on. But does look a little bit like a fighter getting ready to come in, ready to fight, and I'm ready to fight with this episode of another episode of Do Not Overpay for Buffalo Trace or anything else, the high proof edition. So I'm ready to fight. Also felt like, I'm gonna get the chest out for you. No T-shirt under this. Just bringing everything out. I'm bringing everything out today. I'm bringing all the bottles, all the guns, the chest, the hood. The hood's coming off. It's hot. Whew. But kind of felt like I needed to bling it out, and I couldn't find a medallion. I don't know. I think I might have a costume medallion floating around somewhere, and those that know me know that that's not a surprise. But I did find these awesome, Mardi Gras beads. So the music, because I know you all care, since I felt a little bit, I don't know. I felt a lot of things with this outfit. But for some reason, the hip-hops popped in my head with the bling, the robe. I just felt like I had a little bit of street cred going. So I'm a fan of the hip-hops. And my probably numero uno hip-hop rap artist band is Jurassic 5. Not really doing much anymore, but they are so ridiculously good. So we got Jurassic 5 quality control, just playing straight through. Not doing a Spotify mix or a radio station. We're just doing Jurassic 5's best album. That's going to get me in the mood. So let's get into this whole thing. So again, the point of everything is, a lot of us get conditioned to think we have to chase or overpay or go to secondary to find bottles, or even go into stores. And some of these smaller stores will play the game too and jack up prices. And you're like, well, I've heard great things about the Stagg, or I've heard great things about, all of the Buffalo Trace line, or Four Roses Limited, or Master's Keep, Wild Turkey, whatever the thing is that you feel like you've heard a lot about that you're just not going to see on the shelves usually. When you see it on a shelf, you're like, it's 2, 3, 4 times over MSRP, but I feel like I got to get it, FOMO, right? So in my experience, and I had some comments before talking about, well, that's just your personal experience, and here's my personal experience. It's all our personal experience. I'm just one dummy who's had his own personal experience and journey, and I've done the secondary game, buying and selling. I've done the see it on the gas station back counter and go, I think I gotta buy that, or try to negotiate that for that crazy bottle I've never seen before, or whatever. Like, we've all done the thing, or go online and pay over just to get a hold of something. So we've all done it. There's no judgment in it. the reason that make the videos and the reason to have a channel and to begin with is to try to share some wisdom. And one of those pieces of wisdom is that the more I taste things, if you don't have that ridiculously refined palate where you can truly pick out every single nuance, that maybe you can then justify that one bottle is worth 200 versus this bottle that's worth 100 versus, I mean, most of us though, when you start talking about same age, same proof range, same kind of distillate look, you know, like we're kind of in maybe a rye, bourbon, straight kind of thing, you know, then the juice inside the bottle, the variance in that is, it can be quite a bit, but it's still going to be in a fairly narrow band. And so then you go, well, this one's 60, and this one's 100, and that's 160, and that's 360. And then you go, well, is it worth the extra? Is it worth chasing? Is it worth paying more? Is it worth stressing? Is it worth staying up all night and standing in line to be first in line for, you know, some raffle? Whatever, like, is it worth all that stuff? My personal opinion is that it's not worth it. So that was the point of the last video, and the blind completely proved that out. E.H. Taylor single barrel and Rock Hill Farms, Rock Hill Farms, both they were in like high sevens range, which is a really good bottle and a really good score for a $60 bottle. But you know you can't find those for $60. So that's the point. The manufacturer knows what they have. They've priced it right. It's the market and us dummies that have shoved these prices out of control. It's not the manufacturer. It's not their fault. They're mostly pricing things right. And here we have another example of it. Now let's see how this blind goes. So just so you know, today I had a lot of ideas. You know, you're thinking high proof. You're thinking, like I said, straight bourbon whiskey, not rye. Rye is the secondary grain, not wheaters. We're trying to kind of keep things all kind of like with like as much as you can. A lot easier when you're doing 100 proofs and bottled and bonds because they're all they all have the same kind of rule set. This is a little bit different, and I had a little bit of trouble. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to do the Stagg, and this is back when it was a junior, right? And this is batch 15, considered to be one of the better Stagg batches. This is the one I have right now, okay? You can see it's almost empty. It lives on my top shelf, full disclosure, so this is a bottle I like a lot. It's 131.1 proof, and most of the Staggs are somewhere in that kind of 8, 9, 10 year range, okay? So this is the one that you may or may not see on your shelves, probably aren't going to see on your shelves, probably are going to have to go find it secondary or whatever, or have that relationship at the liquor store where they take care of you sometimes and you get one of these for Christmas or whatever. This is, double checking my numbers, $70 retail, okay? So we've gone up $10 from the last retail line. But you're going to typically be looking around $200 to it's been as high as $250 not too long ago on secondary, but the secondary market is softening, which is good for all of us. So now you can get these for $190, $200, $210. That's in the Kansas City range or area. Might be a little bit higher, $225s or whatever nationally, but that's what that is. But still, that's whatever that is, 3x over MSRP. Is it worth it? I don't know. We'll see. Then we have the Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. These you see everywhere, and they are phenomenal for the fact that you can get them and what's in there. This guy here is 132.3 proof. I don't know if I can get the age on these. These guys are usually kind of in that 7, 8, 9 range as well. So this is one where this kind of goes toe-to-toe with this one today, proof-wise, age-wise, and it also it's a $65 proof, so it's $5 cheaper, MSRP. But as you know, you can walk in your stores and find this guy. Good luck finding this guy. So head-to-head, how do they do together? And then let's throw in 2 others. Gotta have a Holladay, because I'm Holladay ride or die. I pulled out this this higher proof booger, but then I realized it was a single barrel, and they're becoming more prevalent too, and you can find those online as well. But I wanted it to be something that I know you can find, and so this is their Rickhouse proof. This particular one's a little bit over 6 years, and it's 119.2 proof, so it's going to be a little bit, it's at a disadvantage here, proof-wise, but we're kind of in the realm, okay? So I want to put that guy in there. Let's get that showing properly there. And then I've got an Elijah Craig. Now, so this, over here is my debaters, so I'll go over that real fast. But this is a private barrel, single barrel, barrel proof from Bubbles. It is a 10-year, and it's 122.1, so it kind of starts to split the difference a little bit here. This lives on my top shelf. It's a fantastic bottle. So now we have Heaven Hill, we have Holladay, we have Buffalo Trace, we have Jack Daniels. So we have 4 legacies. I make Holladay a legacy now. It's right up there. I debated putting barrel proof C923, which was of course the big banger from last year, in here. But what kicked it out for me was it's almost 14 years old, and I just thought that's going to maybe throw and besides that, it's 133 proof, so it really plays well in here. But I just thought this is 10. This gets closer. It'll do the job for us. These store picks are very readily available. If you've got a favorite store, I'm sure you've seen some Elijah Craig single barrel store picks. These are usually top notch. Now again, it kind of depends on if your store, if you like the palette of your store, right? Do you agree with their store picks? I love Bubbles picks usually, so I'm in a lucky spot that I like who's picking the barrels at my store. If you don't love the barrel picks at your store, I would maybe go to a different store, see how you like their bottle picks, because that's kind of the new game now, is getting these bottle picks. That's where you get a lot of value, and you get a lot of unique, kind of fun stuff, while still staying kind of in the flavor profile. So that's what's going to play today here. Some other things that I consider. I'm going to get these out of my way as I talk about them so that I don't bang them. I grabbed the barrel. This barrel bourbon, batch 35, is awesome. And then I realized these are batched. These are blends of different things, so I just didn't feel like it was fair to put a blend in against straight bourbons. So it's going to leave. It's not going to be in the fight. But this is an example of something 70 to 80 to 90 bucks, whatever, right? Depending on what you get. Barrel does consistently good stuff that can compete with anything that is on secondary most of the time. Again, every batch is different. Everyone's different. So whatever. You saw this guy maybe sitting here. I should have gone last. So the old Four Roses Limited 135th anniversary from this last year. This would have played, but it gets a little older. But honestly, I want to put this one in as kind of an example with the Stagg and give the Stagg some competition for the secondary. You won't find it on the shelf bottles, but it's only 108 proof, and so. And I feel like when I've reviewed it and had it, they've blended it down. They've blended it so probably well that it just smooths all of the edges off of it. And against these single barrels and these barrel proofers, I feel like this guy, I don't know if it would just maybe kick their butts because it's so smooth, or if it would just get its butt kicked. I just feel like it doesn't play evenly. So it's out. But this is obviously one that could be in the place of the Stagg, or as the unicorn you'll never see, right? Here's the Holladay that I should have referenced. This was the 1 barrel, 7-year age statement. This was a distillery only release at 120.7 proof. This one is not going to be in the mix for the reasons I talked about. And then I had this one kind of would fit. It could be this or the Holladay, and I feel like they're both kind of doing good things. The Blue Note. This is their the juke joint. Their uncut, unfiltered. This is a single barrel pick. If you can find these, it's MGP juice. They're single barrels. Again, I feel like age-wise, it's a little younger than these guys, but this is one of my favorite bottles, and I didn't even look up the MSRP on this, but 40, 45, 50, I don't know. It's cheaper than all of this stuff, and this is 119.2 proof. So this is example of a bottle that you can find on your shelves that you should be buying when you can't find your Elijah Craig, whatever, right? C923, or you can't find your Stagg or your B-Tax or your Four Roses Limiteds. Like, you should be buying this. You should be buying Holladay. You should be, anyway. I'm off the soapbox. Let me start drinking. Let's get this thing going. Let me get my book lined up. Appreciate you guys for being here. How's my robe? Are we looking good? Everything's blinging out nice. I feel like you've seen a little extra hair in that mix. Again, these have been mixed and remixed. They've been out for a while, but I will mix them again just to make you feel better about it. Zippy, 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 around and around. Don't really care, don't really know, don't know what they are. Okay, so hot, there's peppery. It's got the barrel char in it prevalently. It's got that sweet red hots kind of thing, that cinnamon, kind of that sugary artificial cinnamon thing going. As you keep going and your nose kind of wakes up a little bit to these high proof boogers, it starts to kind of, you can, back in the background, you can go, oh, there's the smooth kind of caramels and sweetnesses underneath, but at first it's pretty tucked back there. We're imitates life and people get famous. It's talking about showbiz and people trying to get famous by doing nothing, like starting YouTube channels and drinking whiskey in their kitchens. Posers. This is nice. It feels a little one note. It feels a little bit just kind of boom, kind of kicking in the face, kind of peppery and a little sweet, like a peppery sweet, just kind of just a punch in the face, and it sort of stays there. So I'm going to try to go fast here. It's good, and it's proofy. It's a proofy booger. I would maybe just guess this is one of the higher ones, like one of my 130s, as opposed to one of the 119s. But when you get up in here, things can drink hot or different for different reasons. So it's oaky and smoky and peppery, but it's bright and spicy and a little harsh. I'm going to go 7.5 on the nose. I don't know. I'm trying to be a little bit more mean. I shouldn't have put this music on. Way too distracting. A little nutty in the palate. It wakes up immediately. It's doing something fun immediately in the mouth. Love that. It's got it feels rich and viscous in the mouth. It feels full flavored in the mouth. I'm kind of worried about too much chest coming out here. Sorry. I like that a lot. On a first glance, I'm thinking maybe 8.5 on the palate. The finish has a nice linger and run to it. The flavors on the finish get a little harshy, maybe a little bit of that wet oaky. It's not. It wouldn't put me off the drink at all. I wouldn't not want to drink this drink because of that. I don't know. Just on a fast glance, I'm going to put that back to a 7.5. There's a little sour note in there too. Pulling a little nutty on the palate and a little bit of sour in the nose now makes me think maybe Heaven Hill. There's a cherry thing going on in the back of the palate. I'm going to leave everything where it is for that. 7.5 nose, 8.5 palate, 7.5 finish. I'll come back through. I'll polish up. I'll do a second or third pass. I may or may not leave that in there because, again, short attention spans. You guys don't appreciate the extended smelling and tastings and stuff. You just want to know what the end result is. So we'll get there. All right, so number 2. Here's my darkest one. That made me something fun. I don't know. That nose surprises me. I was not expecting it. Yep, I'm not loving it on the first hit. It's different. It's rich. It's deep. It's not doing a lot. It's kind of funky. It's a little medicinal. It's a little. What is that? There's some chocolate in it. I mean, it's nice. It's deep and rich, and I love the deep, rich noses. I like them to have a little bit more going on, a little bit more fun in there. And this one feels a little. It's just different. It's super oaky. There's an earthy quality, an earthy, dirty, terroir something in there, which again makes me feel like it's quality, makes me feel like it's older, makes me feel like it's the real deal. It's right out of this barrel, whatever it is. But I don't know if I love it. Let's say that. Yeah, it's like I feel like I have to kind of pull into it pretty deep, and I don't necessarily love what I get out of it. I'm just gonna go 7 at first. Let me see what the drink does to it. That was really nice. That was rich. That was deep. That was chocolate. That was sweet. It was oak. That's everything a bourbon you want a bourbon to be right there. That's just deep, rich goodness. And then the finish, I felt like a little bit better than 1. Kind of did some of the same stuff, but it stayed consistent. That chocolatey kind of richness sort of rolled through the finish. And then it kind of got a little bit, at the end. That makes sense. That's a you can't write that on a label. It got a little, you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's what that is. The music is really distracting. I feel like the drink has made the nose make more sense, if that makes sense. It all goes together. And doing it all in a vacuum is hard. That rich chocolate syrupiness is kind of coming through the nose more now, more life. 7's way too low. I feel like I might jump this to an 8. I mean, it coming off that, it just didn't hit me well. I think I like it better than number 1. I give it an 8.5 number 1, so I'm going to go 9, and I'm going to go 8 on the finish. I don't know. I'm having fun. I hope you guys are having fun. I don't know. All right, here we go. Class 3. A whole different booger. These are all. I love this. This is the fun. This is why I like barrel proof stuff too. Is like it's not blended to kind of a norm. It's like everything's just crazy. This is sweet, sweet, sweet. More fruity, more sweet. Oaky. Little citrus, little sweet, little sugar, little oak. Got my mustache there. It's like that, like my mustache. That finish is like, it's still going. It's down here. It might be growing a couple more chest hairs as I talk. All right, let's see here. Scores. That's really. Oh, that on the back of the nose, I got that savory. I kind of sometimes say barbecuey. That kind of like peppery, tomatoey, saucy. I don't know what you want to call that, but you know what I'm talking about when you have a little barbecue, especially that Kansas City style sauce. Excuse me, I'm getting the burps. By the way, best barbecue, of course, is in Kansas City. Feel free to comment below. Also, always comment as you're watching if you know what I'm drinking. The bottle is up on the screen as I drink. So, am I on track? Am I off track? Do you agree? Disagree? What else is going on in your world? All right, here we go. Hashtag bourbon burps. Oh, man, this might be my favorite nose so far because it's got the richness and it's got the depth and the oak, but it's got sweet and it's got something else. It's got layers. It's got things happening. Yeah, I'm gonna go 8.5 on the nose. It's just a chocolatey, rich booger. Mmm. I'm just kind of going 8.8. All right, here we go. Same thing, just bourbon, classic bourbon, little sweet, little rich, little oak. Just kind of this might be the most balanced of the four so far. Little spice, little tingle in the sinuses for fun. It kind of feels like it has a little of all these things. It feels like, and maybe that's just subjective and you're just like biased because it's the fourth one in the line, so you're sort of putting all your notes together now. It just sort of feels, substantive, cumulative, and you know what I'm saying. I don't know how complex it is. I think it kind of hits you with these two or three flavors and smells right off, it all in one nice cohesive hit. And then it's always that same hit every time. So it's always really nice. It's never like, wait, what? Oh, wait, what? Oh, it's like, yep. So it's not complex and ever changing, and I like the ride of the ever changing. I'm gonna go 9 just because I feel like it's my favorite nose and it's got it all put together. It doesn't feel disconnected. It doesn't feel like I have to work at it. It's just there and it's consistent. It's the one I could stick my face in the glass and just smell for hours and never drink it and be happy. That's really good. All right, let's see what it tastes like. Man, okay. Hope I remember this note. I'm going to write it. Consistent. This feels like it's the most feels like it just, everything's sort of cohesive and it works in the nose together and it stays there. And then it gets into the palate and it lights up and all the same notes you got in the nose are coming through in the palate and it's consistent. But it's like, and it's not boring, one note, it's like 3 note, but it's 3 notes that are perfectly blended together. So it doesn't feel like it's a ride, it just feels nice and easy. And then the finish continues that. And then the flavor in the finish kind of falls off fairly quickly. It doesn't come back and do something new for you. But the feeling and the old Kentucky hug, it runs and feels nice. So for a cohesive, put together drink, let me try it again. Make sure as I over talk it here. It's finished. That may be the best finish of the 4. 8.5 on the finish. 8 on the palate. I kind of think it could go higher there. I'm starting to get sweaty in my robe. Can I just take my robe off? No one's watching anyway, right? Okay, so here comes the point in the video where I need to, for myself and for you guys, work back through because I went this direction, so everything affected itself this way. And then I need to kind of maybe come back through the other way and just double check. I maybe need to do nose to nose, and I'm going to do some minor adjustments here. Knowing myself, I'm going to cut this out, so I'm not going to bore you with this process. We'll just jump to the end. So I can tell you we're all neck and neck right now. We're within a half point here or there. All the bottles, they're all good. But which ones hits me the best? I'll let you know on the other side of this edit. but I'm going to take some more time with it. See you on the flippy flip. And we're back. And we're back during an amazing swing set from Jurassic 5. I have done the boring. I've done the second and the third pass through that no one wants to see. I have totaled them up for you without, but I still got my chest hair out. I've still got my beads out. So we're still having fun here. I'm real curious to reveal these with you guys. I will tell you, after all is said and done, Glass 1 did not hold up. I like all these bottles, so I don't want any of them to be the one that didn't hold up. But just kind of compared to everything else, and again, the day you drink it, the mood you're in, the order you drink it, what do you drink it with, it all matters, right? So this one in a vacuum, I was liking it the first time. The first time I did 7.5, I think 8.5 and 7.5, so I didn't love it, but it was hard to drink the last time. I don't know what this one was, but this one was a 7 overall. A 7.5 on the nose, and then a 7.5 on the palate, which might be generous, and a 6 on the finish, which I don't go there very often on good bottles like this. But for some reason, and maybe it's just empty stomach, and maybe it's just my mood, and maybe it got last in line, and so I just didn't want to drink it anymore. Like whatever this was, I didn't want to drink. So what were we drinking? This is the fun stuff. We were drinking Stagg. I shit all of you not. B. I mean, I'm a dummy, and I might not, this channel may not be, I mean, if I can't get 5% of you to click the subscribe button right now, click the subscribe button, I may not just do this anymore, because if no one cares, why should I do it? But like, there's something going on here. Like, we're doing a thing, right? Like, the very first glass, like, and I did not look. I just did all the boring stuff off camera, or actually I did it on camera. I just cut it because you didn't want to see it. I had no idea that was going to, I actually thought that was going to be the Holladay, just because of what we're doing here and what we're comparing and who's in the fight. And I'm looking at the scores, and two of them are top shelfers by my count, and one's real close, and then this one was just not even close. And it's the fucking Stagg. Come on, people. Click the subscribe button. Come on. I mean, I'm a dummy, but I'm a dummy like you. I'm a dummy who doesn't chase bullshit. I'm a dummy who knows now that I don't even, like, as a matter of fact, the last couple of times that my man at Bubbles has said, hey, I got a Stagg, I was like, I'm good. I've got one still. Like, I don't need them all. Like, they're not that great. They're $70 bottles. And coming off the last blind, I'd rather have some of those, right? That Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond might beat this one. So, should I just stop the video now and just, like, drop the mic? I feel like I should. Oh, God. I got excited. Let's put that away. Let's put everything away. Let's get crazy. Okay, so we've proven the point. So you can shut the video off now and be like, well, Brett said, don't overpay for stuff. And I proved it, so we're done. So, all right, number 2 at an 8. So this was an 8 nose, a 9 palate, and I dropped its finish there at the end to a 7. This is letter D, which was the Elijah Craig store pick. Single barrel, private barrel, 10 years, 123.1 proof. 8. Super solid. Super solid. I don't know if I won't probably let this moment knock it off its top shelf, but it's a good drink. A good drink. All right. What was number 3? This is an 8.2. It's a top shelfer for me now. I pulled it up at the end. Its nose just kept getting better. 9 nose, 8 palate. I did drop its finish a half. It was an 8 finish. I dropped it to a 7.5. Still an 8.2. That is C. That is the Jack Daniels single barrel proof at 132.3 proof. top shelfer. You can get these all day long. And first of all, super cool bottle. Look how cool that bottle is. And it's barrel proof, and it's just freaking good. And it's $65. Buy this, not this. This, not this. Unless you can get this at suggested retail. So the winner... Ben Holladay, ride or die, baby. It was a 9 on the nose to start. I dropped it to an 8.5. It was an 8.5 on the palate to start. It kept its 8.5. It was an 8.5 on the finish to start. It kept its 8.5. And I wrote, you guys know I wrote this, consistent. This, of all these 4 bottles, seemed to be consistent. It put together a nose and a palate and a finish that all worked together, that all stayed consistent, and it didn't try to it didn't blow your mind necessarily, but it did everything really effing well. Obviously, 8.5. And I'll be fully honest. In different blinds, this bottle has been like an 8. It's been a whatever. It really depends. It's all before you comment, right? It's preference, it's palate preference, but it's also time and day and mood and what to drink with it, right? It all plays into it. So all this stuff is a very inexact science. But the point of the science is stop overpaying for anything. Nothing is worth overpaying for. Nothing is worth overpaying for. The manufacturers know what they have. They know that this is a $60 or a $70 bottle. They know this is a $65 bottle. They know this is a $70 to $80 bottle. They know this is a $70 bottle. They've priced it accordingly. In every other industry, we never do this. In every other industry, we actually look at the manufacturer suggested retail price and go, okay, but can I get a sale? But really, can I get that for less? Because I'm not going to pay what the. I'm going to go to the car dealership and haggle. I'm going to get this for less. I'm going to get this for cost. And somehow in the bourbon industry and the whiskey game, we're like manufactured retail price. I'll pay 3x that because it's worth it. You can comment all you want down below. You can fight me all you want. If you're paying over suggested retail price, I don't want to label you and call names, but I will say, in my dumb experience and in my proof on this episode and the last episode, and talk to other people, they will probably agree, you're overpaying and you're stupid. But I love you. Thanks for watching. Stop overpaying. Pick up something that's on your GD shelf at your store and buy it. And stop messing around with raffles and standing in line and secondary and all this crap. Support awesome distilleries that are doing great things. And have no secondary, there's no markup on these doofuses, right? But no matter what, I love you guys. And I love what you're doing. As long as what you're doing is helping us get to 100 subscribers so that we can keep this dumb adventure going. Because if we don't hit 100, we're going to shut her down because it's too expensive and too aggravating to my wife for us to keep going. So, love you guys. Subscribe, follow, do all the things. Maybe we'll see you again. Maybe we won't.